Hey everyone, and welcome to Emplifi's social media spotlight series where we talk to the real people behind your favorite brands. I'm Michelle, and today we have Anastassia from JD Sports, and we're going to talk about everything from social strategy, content wins, digital trends, and everything in between. So let's hop into it. Thank you, Anastassia, for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, let's get into it. We want to dive into the behind the scenes of like what your life is like being a social media manager and really highlight like how difficult it really is and how it's not as easy as people think it is. So let's jump right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I want to start from the beginning here, okay? Like when did you know or how did you know that social media was something you wanted to get into?
I think that, well,
Yeah.
you want to go really far back.
I do.
When I was first in university getting my business degree, I was going to go into tech, realized, okay, this isn't maybe what I'm in love with right now, and that I'm actually a lot more creative than I thought I was, and then switched into marketing, fell in love with it, and then thought, what's the most creative thing that I can do in this universe? I'm a very aesthetic person, love pretty things, love curating things in ways that fit, some type of a vibe, regardless of what it is. And so social media kind of fell into that category because you are kind of curating the brand image and look of a specific company or a specific goal or vision that someone might have. And I kind of realized that if I want to be as creative as I could be, this is one of the avenues I can take. And it's been good so far.
That's so awesome. And like so good that you recognize throughout your journey, like, you know what, maybe what I'm like going to school for isn't exactly what I want to do, but it's going to lead me into the right place. And like,
absolutely.
I feel like sometimes people don't dig deep enough into themselves that they can figure out like, I want to be creative every day. And I don't know, or like the opposite. I want to be, using like numbers all day long.
Yeah.
Like you got to really dig into that. And I mean, you're so young too. So to figure that out so early is amazing. So
Thanks.
that's
Yeah.
exciting.
I'm glad that I had the chance to think about it and actually look inwards before taking the risk. Because I was also like, well, is this really something that's going to go in the direction that I want to? Am I going to feel stuck again? But you never know until you try.
Exactly.
Right? It's one of those things where you kind of have to figure it out on your own, and you're the only person that's going to give you those answers. So you might as well bite the bullet and see what happens. And then everything will work out in the end anyways. So
always. It's just more experience, right? And like social media is so many different avenues too. Like you're a content creator, you're a like professional scheduler, you're like your face is on everything. So what I love about social is your face is literally on everything, which means that you always have to look good, which means looking good makes you more confident, right? So then it's like every day you're just confident. And that's
100%.
what you want, right? So
100%. And also it's a main touch point for communication too, right? Where you have to be really mindful of how you're communicating information to specific audiences depending on what you're trying to do with it. So using your brain in that way and being able to pivot constantly where it's like, we need to get this message across, but it needs to be delivered in this type of way based on whatever project, campaign, goal you might have is also fun because it keeps your brain working in that way, which I think is something that adds variety to your job essentially every day because there's so many different hats that you can wear at once.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It's almost like acting. Like you're almost like turning on a different person every day. You know, it's like today we have Andy, today we have Anastassia, the next day we have like Valentina. Every day is a different day, which I love. Which I love about social. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, so what does your day-to-day as a social media manager actually look like? So what does a typical morning look like for you? Are you reactive? Do you plan your day? Like, what does that look like for you?
So I would say that I love settling into my morning is one thing that I'll do. So I'll get to the office, I'll have my breakfast, have my coffee, and I'll be going through articles of whatever is new and up and coming. I'll go on like Hypebeast and Hypebae and any other source that kind of relates to my industry and what I'm interested in too, just to kind of see what's emerging and what's current and kind of what's going on in those universes, because sometimes it will help me make decisions in terms of how I want to position something. Other times it doesn't. It's more just for my own little education. It helps me kind of expand and see what we can use later on in the future. But I like settling in that way just for a little bit of time. And then it's looking at really what depends. I plan everything out.
Yeah.
Like the way I have it set up is that the content schedule will be planned out at least a week in advance. And I report on that every Friday to my brand manager so that I kind of have everything taken care of and set up.
Okay.
So it's either auto scheduling things just to kind of get a couple the ball rolling.
Yeah.
It might be replying to emails on brand campaigns. It might be doing a little bit of reporting just to get the day going. And then I'll kind of settle into the rest of my day with if I have any big campaign tasks that I need to do. So it could be reviewing content from an influencer. It could be communicating with a brand and trying to plan out, you know, either reviewing things that they're sending to me that we are then going to use, or even just doing basic communications and coordination on certain campaigns. And then probably finishing off with a little bit more like, I don't want to say mindless, but the auto scheduling is kind of more the mindless stuff where I'm writing my captions, I'm tagging my products, and it's a little bit more like I can listen to my podcast and just crank out that work and kind of finish off the day in a more comfortable way. I would say.
Yeah, I love that. I love how, and like even you told me today, like I'm going to go to the store and actually film some stuff, which is cool in the industry that you're at. It sounds like your days can be so different, which is amazing. Like,
100%.
And so fun and really allows you to be creative like you want it to be, right? So I think it's cool that you're like this industry that you're in, you get to go to the storefront and film things instead of like doing it in your bedroom or, you know, whatever. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I like going to the store because then I'm interacting with the staff too. I can see what the look and feel is, especially with the company, like especially with JD. We are a very retail focused business. Retail is still at the forefront of the experience that we want to deliver to the customer because we see the value of that in-person interaction. Our e-commerce is also extremely important and extremely valuable, but we need to be able to balance both ends of it and show that you can come to the store and find something that you're looking for, and how can I make that enticing? And it's interesting because the content that I create in the store, even if it's just a couple like pans of what's new, just showing like the visual merchandising or the apparel or something like that, they do really well.
I bet.
Because people just kind of want to see what's there.
100%.
And it's not very, it's product pushing in a way, but it's a little more relatable. It's a little more intuitive, I think, for people to understand. And you can make it a little bit fun.
100%.
Right?
And like, even as a consumer, like I'm thinking as a consumer, like I went into JD Sports like 2 weeks ago and I was like, there's so much in this store. Like if you could, like it would be like, which is amazing, but it would be so good. Like, as you're saying, like you're going in, like maybe you show like just like the new Nike stuff or like the new pair of shoes that just came out or whatever. Like people love that kind of stuff. And that's what really gets people into the store. And that's what you want, right? Ultimately, that I'm sure that's what you and your team want, is to get them in the store purchase.
Absolutely. And even like with like when I think about the approach that I take in terms of our social media presence and posture, it's a huge balancing act between a bunch of different goals. Obviously, as a retail company, conversion is huge. We want to make sales, right? We want to sell products. We want to, you know, generate revenue in that way. We want to get people wearing the products that we carry. And obviously it'll expand from there. But we also have responsibilities based off of our brand partners. Sometimes, you know, we have campaigns going on with New Balance or Adidas where they're making an investment. We have a marketing campaign and a strategy that needs to be executed. We want to make sure that we're a good partner to them while also being in tune to what our customer wants as well, right? And then on the other side of that, it's, well, how are we going to grow the account? Sometimes certain products do a lot better than others in terms of engagement and reach, just because people enjoy consuming that content and they find it, you know, they might like a Nike Dunk better than another shoe, for example. And that fluctuates with trends and it fluctuates with what's happening in the real world. But you kind of have to balance out, how are we going to make the sales? How are we going to be a good brand partner? And how are we going to grow this account at the same time?
That is so difficult too. Like, and people don't understand. I was talking to actually the last girl that was on the podcast, and she was like, people think like, you know, running a social account for a brand is simple. You know, I just got to like post a picture of my matcha or something like that or whatever, right? No, it's like, I have to sell a brand. That's not me. I have to sell something completely different. Like you said, you have to sell millions of products. How do you showcase all these products? How do you showcase, you know, so that's, I mean, it sounds like you got busy days, which is amazing.
I do, but it's, that's a good thing about working like with other teams too and other departments is I get so much insight from our buying team, for example, our merchandising team, where they'll help deliver the products that we can then create stories out of, and they know what's up and coming and they know what they've invested in. And so it really takes, it is all hands on deck at the end of the day to deliver a marketing campaign in the first place. And so I value all the insight that I get from any team that I'm working with.
What is your go-to process when planning or launching a campaign? Like, how is that working with your team?
So It depends. First, I think the first thing that I look at is there's only so many posts we do a day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So we do 2 posts a day. We don't want to flood people and overwhelm them with stuff like, yeah, we get it. We have stuff to share with you, but I also don't want to bombard you with things because I want people to actually enjoy consuming our content, right? So it's like, okay, we have 2 posts a day. We do that 7 days a week, for example. And then I look at what type of high investment products we may need to promote. So if we have a release, for example, if a Jordan 4 is dropping, then for sure that's going to take up so many slots. And we have our strategy around how we promote that on social, on email, at the stores, all of that. Then again, if we have any brand co-ops or campaigns that are happening that are high investment, again, okay, where are those going to get slotted in? So the skeleton gets filled out.
Okay.
In ways. It'll fluctuate depending on how much we actually have going on. And then after that, it comes up to the campaigns that we are thinking about and that we want to promote too. So for example, we're in back to school season right now. We're in full blown back to school season. We have a couple different initiatives that we're rolling out in stages throughout the months of July, August, and September. So for example, we're doing semester style guide right now. I'll make sure that I have some content in the calendar and in the mix that's reflective of that. And our photography team is so great too. And our creative team is amazing where they make great content for me to promote too. So it gets filled out in that way. And then I look at, okay, what do I think is on trend? What do I see that we just got online? What's new and hot? We'll put those in a couple spots. I'll request those assets from our team too. And then if there's any other high investment initiatives, we might have some things coming down the pipe that'll fill in the rest. So sometimes it's a lot of, me deciding what's going to happen. Other times it's kind of already set out in the sense of we have to get these things sorted and we need to push these things out within a given week. And then I'll just fill in the gaps with what I think people would enjoy.
Yeah, love that. The trends, the trends, you're like, okay, I'll fill that in on these days because we're not dropping the Jordan 4s or, we don't have the back to school campaign here. So I'm going to put those little trends in this area, but those are not first priority.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I love.
And the hierarchy definitely, now that I've been doing this as long as I have, and we have built out some more processes around, how we want to promote certain things on social, it's easier for me to make those decisions and just plot everything in the way that we want. So I don't have to worry about whether I'm doing the right thing or if I'm doing it in the right way. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so it gives me the freedom then to look at, okay, what's coming up? What do the buyers think are going to be really good? What do I think is going to go really well on the account? Getting those assets created and then pushing them out as we need.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what does do the best? When you do your reporting on Fridays and stuff like that, what content is typically doing the best? Like what kind of campaigns? Is it the back to school? Is it the new kicks? Is it the new sweatsuit? Like what is it that's doing the best?
It's so product specific.
Is it?
At
Okay.
the end of the day.
Okay. Next kind of question we have there is you mentioned your Friday reporting, what metrics really matter to you? Like what metrics are you looking at in that report and you're like, this is important and this is how I know that I did well this week, this quarter, or this month?
For me, because we're still I don't want to say that we're at a vulnerable stage, but we're still very new to the market. JD's only expanded into Canada since 2020, 2021, let's say. So we're still trying to set the tone in how we're showing up in the market. So I look at the views and the engagement a lot to see whether people are responding in a positive way or a negative way. Excuse me. It also, again, just depends on the content. Yeah. So if we have, for example, a new store that's opening in a new area, and we'll do promo for that, and then sometimes we'll do a grand opening as well, seeing the reaction that people have around us showing up in a new spot and having a new store that's going to be opening is more insightful to me than just the simple engagement maybe on another product. Let's say I want to see how people are reacting to our presence and us showing up in Canada. And for example, we opened our first 2 stores in Saskatchewan in May.
Oh, wow.
The response was insane.
That's awesome.
The turnout at both of those events were amazing.
That's
Everyone
awesome.
was so happy to have our type of a store and our type of a brand now in their area. And even the response online through the social posts and the engagement, even with the giveaways that we do and the simple promos, it was great to see. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, okay, how can we leverage this to keep expanding the brand in a positively impactful way while also taking care of, the conversions and the co-ops and all that stuff as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Saskatchewan's also like very small town, right? So it's like
Yeah.
to open up in Canada only since 2021, and then now go open up in Saskatchewan, like one of the smallest areas ever. Like they must be pumped.
Oh, they were.
You know, it's
They
like
were.
huge for them to have the access to pick up some like nice Nikes or some nice Adidas or, whatever that is.
And that was the response. I was
Yeah.
at both of those events.
Yeah,
I
that's
traveled
awesome.
there with one of my teammates, and everyone was just so happy that we were there and
That's
that they
so
had the
awesome.
option now to shop with us in that way instead of it just being online.
100%.
Right?
Trying on a pair of shoes, trying on a shirt. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's so awesome. I love to hear that. Go Canada.
I know, right?
Okay. What's one thing you think people don't realize about running social for a brand? So like, what do people underestimate about your job? What's one myth that you may want to debunk?
I think that what I've noticed over the past, let's say, maybe 2 years since I've started doing this, but even over the past year is social media is very casual, very, very casual, which is great and it's fun.
Yeah.
And that's how you relate. You create relatability and, vulnerability is really impactful as well. But attention to detail and the way a brand approaches communicating to its audience is still very important. And I've had times where you have to make sure that the copy and the caption and all of the wording or how something is set up and positioned is accurate because people rely on that information to then make their decisions, right? So I don't want to present us in a way that's going to make a mistake in some other avenue that we don't see yet. So I think, taking care of that stakeholder analysis and having that attention to detail and understanding that you are still communicating a business to people and people are relying on accuracy to understand your validity at the end of the day, I think is huge. So as much as I would love to just throw whatever video up or whatever or write whatever copy that's super simple if we're running an event or something like that, the presence and just the awareness that people are counting on this information being accurate and they're counting on trusting you so that they can make those decisions is something that can't fall short ever, I don't think.
Yeah, and that's why it's so tough to be working and trying to sell like a brand, right? This is your personal social media. You can't just go out there and like post a TikTok that's kind of funny.
You're not just gonna sling it,
You're
right?
like
I mean,
copy,
you can at times, but with TikTok too, it's a little more fun and you can we will be a little more experimental with it, but there's a time and place, right? And it can't be all the time.
Yeah, and like social copy really matters. Like we saw on, I don't know if you've been following around this whole like situation with American Eagle and like their way they've like branded their jeans, right?
Jeans
like it's
campaign.
like it's been really tough to watch. Like that's why every single post that you post on social media, you have to look over a million times. Like, is this wording okay? Is this going to be translated properly? Like, this isn't like it's got to work for millions of people, not just you and your friends. It's got to work for everyone.
Oh,
so
definitely. And
tough.
there's times where, like you said, there's times where things can be more casual. And, you're just putting something fun up for the sake of doing it. And that should never escape because I think that's the fun part of social media too, is that you can just put stuff up and it's entertainment too,
100%.
in a way, but it depends on who you're trying to reach and what you're trying to do with it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And it's, oh my gosh. And that's a whole world of people, right? So that's tough.
That American Eagle one was crazy.
It's crazy, insane.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
What content format is working best for you right now and why? So are you seeing better performance in short form video, in carousels, static images? And then are you experimenting with new formats or sticking to your like tried and true?
I think that we've definitely trimmed down in terms of video length over the past little bit, just because short form is working more, because if we're highlighting, for example, a new, shoe franchise or something like that, it's just something quick. People want to see it. People want to enjoy it and then know, okay, that's what they have. That's what they're up to. Right. So I think that is probably working out the best from what I'm noticing. We're also very Instagram heavy. Instagram is definitely our main account right now that we use. And if anyone wants to find, any resources or up-to-date information other than on our website, I would say Instagram is the place that they go. So Reels are doing well than posts. But again, it just depends on what people are into. That's what I've noticed too.
100%.
It's hard to tell sometimes what's going to pop off and what's not.
Yeah.
And there's times where I'll put up a post and I was like, oh, I didn't know people were going to be that into, whether it's a product line or whether it's just like an on-model asset if we do a cool campaign on location, for example.
It's insane. And it's also like a static image might do better at 8 a.m. because people are walking out the door to grab their coffee to go to work and it's a quick look. But a video might do better at like 9 p.m. when I'm laying in bed about to like go to bed.
Yeah.
So it's like also like, okay, so do I have to post static images in the morning and videos at night? Is that how it's going to do better? Do I just not post throughout the day at all because everyone's working? Like there's the time, the type of format you're using, like everything to think
I think
about.
that the algorithm has also changed so much that you just kind of have to run with it sometimes. That's where stories kind of play a better role too, because if you want to just get some quick things out there, that's where people will kind of doom scroll on their stories for a bit, right? But again, I don't want to bombard people with 100 story slides from us either. I'll minimize it to like maybe 10 max in a day, depending on the theme or, what we're trying to highlight, because you don't need to be constantly clicking through us either. You have other people you want to look at too,
or
right?
but like a store opening is great for that because it's like then you're like walking through the store showing everything. Like, that's why you'd have a ton of stories, but you want that to be kind of quick and interactive.
That's where we do like a full takeover, and I try to capture as much as we can in the event just to bring energy too, because there's only so many events that we do in a year. We're not like that event based in the sense that we have something happening every day or every weekend. So when we do, it's nice to be able to capture it and show people that we're doing things in our community that's more than just, showing up in stores and online.
100%. 100%. And community is huge, like you mentioned earlier. Like having that, like you going to Saskatchewan as the social media manager and being there, like allows for like so much. Because people are like, oh, that's the girl that's like responding to my stuff. Like there's people out there who love that stuff.
Yeah, you can
and
see
like,
so much
they
more
feel
from it,
heard.
too.
They feel, like they're getting a video or a picture taken of them at the store opening. People love that. It's feeling seen. It's great. So yeah, I love that. Okay, next question. Where do you get creative inspiration for your brand's social content? So we talked about, like campaigns and stuff like that. Like that typically is like first hierarchy. That's already like planned out. But like, where do you get like your fun trends or like, where does that inspiration come from?
That is such a good question.
Do you pull ideas from your personal feed?
I think, it's very, I think it's a combination of what we try to do with the creative team. Like our creative team's amazing. They are so good. They're so dialed in. They know what's cool. They know what's fun. They're great at what they do. And so them taking on the creative direction is, I fully trust them with everything. Like they are great. And I'm always on the same page with them as well in terms of the concept. When it comes to stuff that I'm looking at specifically, I definitely look at our sister accounts because we are global. And as much as, we're a little bit on the newer side, we have JD UK, we have JD US, we have JD Women, JD Australia. We have so many more like extremely established JDs out there that have these robust social media accounts and that, are doing so much, or they're pushing out content in ways that seems fun and it's simple and stuff like that. So I'll always grab inspiration from them to see what they're up to and kind of how they're delivering things. And then I'll pull also from what I see in my personal feed, which isn't always what maybe everyone would be interested in, and it's more curated to me, but I'll adapt it in a way that it'll be relevant for what we might be looking for.
Yes.
Like I always say, if you go on the TikTok account, even the Instagram account too, they're even the sounds that I use or like the way that I like say things. If you knew me, you might be able to pick up that it is me on the ones that I make, at least, because I do try to get help from the staff as well in stores whenever.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I try to give them the opportunity to create content if they're interested in too, and then submit it to me, and then it'll help me post. Or just have some more content out there, because there's only so much that I'll be able to go to a store, and we have people across Canada, so why not highlight those stores?
Oh, 100%.
It's easier said than done sometimes, because obviously it depends on their capacity and whether they're really interested or not, but it's still an option.
Yeah, it's like employee influencer style, right? So you're like, hey, here, I give you guys the option, submit it to me. If you have a fun idea, let's like send it over. It could be amazing. Like, and then it just, more brains, the better, right? So it just helps you, which is amazing.
Yeah.
How much do trends factor into your strategy?
Barely.
You did mention that kind of early on.
And I think I should. That's the thing where I'm like, when I think about TikTok, for example, and I'm kind of like, okay, I want like we want to build out the TikTok a
Yeah.
little bit more, and we want to be able to get that going. And it's such an amazing platform and an amazing tool, and it reaches so many people. That's where I look at the trends and I'm kind of like, okay, we could mix this in here and there, but I want to be able to push out enough of our authentic content that we're not just reacting to trends all the time either. So I think that it should be leveraged a little bit more, but the reactiveness of it based off of like the stack that we already have going on, it'll have to, I think the ratio will kind of have to build as time goes on.
I mean,
But right now it's not really.
yeah.
I'm more like looking, honestly, it's more me going through my TikTok and be like, that's nice. And then just scrolling and forgetting about it.
Yeah,
and then after the fact, I'd be like, oh, maybe we should use that.
Shoot, I should have saved that sound.
But
That
it's
actually
more
would
me
have
just
worked.
scrolling like on my own.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. Honestly, it sounds like you guys have way more important things right now than just getting a video that pops off and gets like 50K views or 100K or whatever, you know? It sounds
who
like
doesn't like 100K
Oh, everyone loves it. Everyone loves it. Everyone
Like,
loves it.
who
And you
doesn't
just
want-
and
who
you
doesn't
never
want that, though?
and you
That's
just
the other thing, right?
You just never know if one video is going to pop off, and
No,
then
you
it's
don't.
just like okay, this is amazing. Now people are going to follow our TikTok account, and now they'll see our new product updates and they'll see all that stuff. But I mean, it sounds like there's like, you know, bigger fish to fry right now at JD Canada.
I think, yeah.
So it's like, it definitely, like, it sounds like you want to start including it, which it'll come to you.
It'll come.
Yeah.
I'm excited too, because that's, again, leaning into like the creative side of things.
Yes,
You can't go
exactly.
wrong.
And that's
You can't
kind
go
of why you
wrong.
like said you first kind of came into social, right? It was to be creative. So maybe just, I feel like give it a shot. You never know, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Well, that's I'm going to go to Rob's now and film a couple things and just see.
You know what trend
how it
could be kind of
goes.
fun for you is the one where the hand, you know, where they're like, nice to meet you.
The
Is
Pink
this
Panther
illegal?
song?
Yeah, whatever the
Okay,
heck that is.
I love that song
I love
so
this
much.
trend too. I think it's so funny because it actually is really funny. So like that could be good for retail.
That would
so
be.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
I love that song. I have that
So
song.
good.
I have that song on repeat right now on my playlist.
way.
I listen to it in the car. I just feel like it's so summer. It's so like
I love
girly
it.
summer.
Oh, it is girly summer.
Yeah.
I'm just summering. Like
Literally,
Kylie Jenner.
that's me. That's me in my car.
Yeah, I love that. How do you balance brand voice versus trend participation? So do you have any rules for what you won't post? How much freedom do you have to improvise? Is there a voice filter that you make sure like JD Sports like does not use or does use, you know?
I would say that I am fortunate enough where I'm very trusted with what I do, which I am very, very thankful for. So in terms of, I always look at everything with a fine-tooth comb, and I always try to make sure that everything's being positioned in a way that aligns with who JD's trying to reach and how JD's trying to present itself, which is confident, bold, ambitious, on trend, or even like above the curve at times, just someone who can express themselves, you know what I mean? And I think that's something that's translated. Well, it derives essentially from the UK, which is where we're founded, and it's something that's carried out through all of the sister companies and like globally. So I have a nice map in terms of what the voice should look like based off of, you know, the other more established brands and places that we have. So it's good to have that guidance. And then it's my job to adjust it in a way that's going to fit the Canadian market, essentially, which isn't too far off, because, you know, everyone kind of wants to be cool in their own way, and everyone wants to find their own style and their fashion. And we have things that span from, you know, if you want just an Air Force One and you're trying to refresh your basic simple shoes that you wear every day, or if you want to try something new or try out a new brand, we kind of have something for everyone. If people want to get a little bit more exploratory with their style, or they want to stick and just refresh their essentials, we have it. So it's not hard for me to cater our voice to that, because it's basically like we have what you want, and you're going to enjoy it, and just come check it out.
You can have
know?
so many different voice filters. Like you said, like you can position JD Sports as like girly, sporty girl, or you can position it as like really streetwear girl who wants to have like the sickest new kicks. Or you can like basketball guy, Div 1 can walk in, or like college or whatever. Or also like basketball guy who's in grade 7 who's trying out basketball for the first time. So there's so many ways to position.
And that's
JD.
exactly, you took the words out of my mouth, because I was going to say that depending on, for example, Juicy Couture, I might not, you know, use the same voice as I would for a Jordan release, right? Like we can look at all the different markets that we're trying to serve, because there is a variety of personas, I would say, that as much as they all could fall under the same type of category, they're still very unique people, and we want to make sure that we're sharing the love with all of them,
Yes.
right? So there's a difference between, the girlies that are getting their first juicy tracksuit ever, or that are having like a nostalgic moment, or even like the mom that's doing some back to school shopping for their kids and wants to get a new pair of triple black shoes, for example, or the performance runner that saw that we have like a new Adidas performance running shoe,
There's so many ways you can position it, which is honestly even allows for way more creative freedom, because that like it just opens up so many doors, which is amazing. And it's different than if you were just a Juicy Couture store. Do you know what I mean? Or if you were just
absolutely
an individual store, you got to position yourself in a different way. So you got so many routes to go.
Yeah,
which
and
is
I
amazing.
would say that I'd say that leveraging our brand partners helps a lot with that as well, because when they have a certain, product franchise, for example, and there's a direction and a vision with who they were choosing to position the product for, I can take inspiration from that to ensure that we're delivering that messaging while also making sure that we're giving the same type of inspo to our other customers that might be exploring that for the first time.
I love that.
Right?
And that even leads off of the whole inspiration question. Like, where do you get your inspiration from? You can get your inspiration straight from Juicy Couture's Instagram. You can get your inspiration straight from Nike's Instagram, because it's all like the same kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And then you just kind of connect it with JD, you connect it with your own personal taste, and then boom.
Exactly.
Like all this inspiration just creates your creativity.
And when we have a campaign or a co-op, for example, they do a great job of helping us with what their vision is as well, and giving us the voice and the messaging that they're looking for based off of the goals that they are trying to reach. So I have a nice body of knowledge to work from, which helps, because sometimes you're trying to figure out what's going to be the right balance between the JD customer and the brand partner customer. And as much as they're the same person, sometimes you need to kind of adjust the ratio a little bit in terms of what you're trying to achieve, right?
100%. 100%. It is helpful that you get that brand voice from them, like the 100%. Brands themselves, just being like, this is kind of how we want to be heard. So please make sure you like really put that out there, which is so good. But also makes it hard again, because it's like, okay, now we got this, this, and this, and this. How do we make sure we can put it all into one circle in one pot, which is insane. But you're doing well.
Thank you.
How do you use social to support broader business or retail goals?
Oh, another amazing question.
Do you partner with other departments like retail or e-commerce, which you've kind of mentioned a little bit? And then how do you translate sales or business goals into content?
Yeah, so I would say that the department that I work the closest with in terms of leveraging my tools to support their goals would be the e-commerce team, because I will directly tag products so that and link everything so that people can go straight to the website. Also, just being a mobile platform or an online digital platform, the digital marketing that happens within social and email directly translate to the digital marketing and the strategies that e-commerce have as well. So I would say that working with them to ensure that whatever campaigns they're running, or whatever homepage banners they have going up or anything like that, I will have things incorporated onto our marketing schedule or into our content schedule that will directly translate to that, or I'm telling the similar or the same stories that they'll be telling within a given week, so that there's some cohesion there, and so that the touch points are translated. Because that's another part of marketing that I really enjoy, especially when working somewhere like this, is that you have several different touch points that you're using to deliver the same message, but in a slightly different way so that people will resonate with it, right? And they're going to resonate with something on social a little bit different than they will on the website compared to at the store level. So as a team, we have to work together to ensure that we're sharing the same messaging, but it's hitting those touch points in the unique ways that they need to, so that people can then instill that, that message or that image or that vision that we're looking to deliver to them, and then go and make the proper decisions at the end of the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
It's fun though. It's good because you see how it works on different platforms, which is interesting too, because the way we're going to share something on email compared to social then translate it to e-com are different, but they're all going to work to achieve the same goal, which is nice.
Yes, exactly. And that is the goal, obviously, is to make sure that, obviously everyone's working in cohesively. So that's good. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. The whole team works so well together.
We try.
Yeah. Good job, JD.
Good
job, JD.
We try.
What's one tool, habit, or workflow that saves you sanity? So how do you organize your content calendar? Any time-saving hacks or templates you swear by?
My Trello board is my best friend.
Okay.
Literally my brain.
I love that.
My Trello board is my
Okay.
brain. I lay out anything that's happening on social media. I'm a visual person. I need to
Yes.
have everything laid out in front of me. So lists are good, but if I can have like the tiles or some type of a Kanban board where I have the tiles, I have the images so that I can see aesthetically what things are going to look good next to each other as well. And I can move things around in ways that are going to flow really nicely too, and just make sure that the brands are balanced, the campaigns are balanced, the coloring is nice depending on what it is. It's not going to flow every single time, obviously. And we have to be a little reactionary too. If something has to go up on a certain day, then that's fine. But being able to see everything in front of me and have all the information that I need with respect to any element of it just laid out is what I need the most, I would say. And then auto scheduling is also my best friend.
So good. Oh my gosh. Because then, like you said, it's that work that you do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You got all that other stuff you got to do. So just being able to like click that schedule is just so nice. Okay, I did all my work. It's going to go out at 8 a.m. Tomorrow. And I don't have to worry about it at 8 a.m. tomorrow. That's awesome. I'm also a very has to see it type of person too, like visual. Like 100%. If you give me a list of stuff that I have to do, I'm going to look at that list and I'm going to walk away. If you give me like, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, and then explain what I need to do, like just like something, but like I'm not a grocery store list girl. I can't do
I'm
lists.
a list person for my to-dos during the day.
Okay,
so I have like my list of things I need to get done. But then when I'm mapping things out, I need that visual
100%.
there.
100%. Oh my gosh, love it. What trend are you excited about or totally over as we're in 2025? So is there a shift in how audiences are behaving that you're watching on different social platforms like TikTok, X, Instagram? What platform or content type are you betting on? Anything you're hoping dies out? Tons of things to think about. Those are a ton of questions. But
I would say that I've really been enjoying... This is more maybe on my personal side, but I've been enjoying the long form content that's making a comeback because I think that, when we were younger, it was YouTube. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I was the one watching like the beauty tutorials I still do, but it was like you'd go on YouTube and you might watch a 20-minute video and that's what you do. Or I still watch podcasts just because I want to see everyone just chatting. You know what I mean? So seeing the transition from the ultra short form content and then the emergence of the long form content coming back even on TikTok, I think is super fun because I've also noticed the transition of what type of influencer is really actually being successful now it's moving away from, I would say, a general influencer and moving more into industry experts, which I think is really fun because I love learning. I'm constantly like reading articles and watching videos and things and just trying to gain as much knowledge as I can. So listening to people or watching people actually share information that's a little more valuable, or it's in an industry or it's in an area that I'm just not familiar with, and being able to learn in that way, I think is super fun, and hopefully it'll catch on, and I'm excited to see what people do with it. Do I think we're going to go right back to the YouTube days? I doubt it. But I think that's something that I'm really looking forward to. And then in terms of what's going to die, what do I want to die?
Die.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know.
Let me think examples.
What are your thoughts on just like live streaming?
So here's my thing with live streaming. I actually, for your type of industry, I actually think live streaming could be good.
You think so?
Because you walk into a store, people will join, and it's like an experience, something like that. I think Instagram Live is kind of dead. I think that was like 2024, 2023. I mean, earlier. That might have been before.
I've ever even seen anyone go live. Like, I don't think I've gotten the notification in so long.
In like a few years, right? Yeah. Maybe it was before COVID. I think that's probably dead, but maybe it'll come back because it gives you that humanized content that we need. So like, it's like, okay, I get to see someone live right now talking to me about this makeup product or these pair of shoes or whatever. And I'm feeling like, okay, I'm on my walk watching this person do that or something. I know TikTok is super huge for lives with influencers and stuff like that.
They do like those competitions too, where they're like split screen and they're like, can we get the most likes? Can I get the most this and that? That's what I think is a little bit. I'm not drawn to that because I don't think you need to be gifting people things. No,
I agree.
Online.
I agree. Yeah, that becomes a little bit sensitive to me, where I'm just like, I thought this was supposed to be more of like a connecting with other people, not like a very like money based thing. So I agree with you there. But yeah, I think. I don't know what I think could die. I think about it all the time.
I was going to say, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm over Twitter. at Threads or X or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when I used Twitter, I was like in grade 12, so like a little while ago. And I just feel like people would update like, oh, I'm feeling sad today. It's like BBM kind of like it was like updating too many things. And I think you want your life to be open, but still secretive. And I think you want your brand to be open, but still hidden. So it's like, I don't need to share all this information on Twitter with everyone because it's just too many opinions get put in and it's just too much.
Twitter is like it's a very interesting space. And it was I don't know if it is. I'm not on Twitter anymore, or I never really was, but that used to be a news source, though. People would go there, like people go there for their up-to-date information. So what the transition is going to be now is interesting.
And I still try to see it's stories, like Instagram stories instead, just like updating like, okay, like school closure or, don't go down this road because there's an accident, stuff like that. So you're seeing that more of on X. But it also comes down to demographics. Like older age people are probably still using Twitter because that's what they have on their phone and they don't want to learn something different.
Facebook.
Yes, Facebook will stay around forever and it'll never go away. People love it.
Do you think so?
I think so because I mean, if we're speaking to our parents or we're speaking to our teachers or we're speaking to anybody that's in a little bit older than us, it's Facebook.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that going away because honestly, I truly do believe when I start to have kids, I'll probably post on Facebook.
You think so? I think for our generation, it's going to be Instagram.
Okay.
I think Instagram will never die in the sense of that'll be our Facebook. I just can't picture what the next one is going to be.
Yes.
That's the thing because I'm kind of like, okay, we have TikTok for videos. We have Instagram for photos. What more?
Like, what's our next social?
I'm wondering what the next one is going to be.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
I haven't been able to clock it yet, but
oh my gosh,
it's
crazy to think about.
I think
like, what
Instagram's
else could
going to be our Facebook.
You know what? In a little bit, I do agree with you there because it's like, who wants to go to another app? But Facebook is just like you have like people from school, people from camp when you were a kid. Like, there's all these people that you like would never follow on social media.
You have Marketplace too.
Yeah, That's another one. So many things to think about. Okay. How do you balance paid versus organic? Do you do that?
So I have, I take care of organic specifically.
Okay.
So that's me. And we have an amazing digital marketing specialist who does the paid.
Okay.
So we'll work together in the sense of if we have one of those campaigns going on, for example, and I post something organically, I'll let her know so that she can boost it. Because that's a really good way of having things just get out there is more if I post it and then they boost it. It does really well. But that's not something that I've personally explored as much because we have a team that's really good at it.
Do you guys like report on your organic versus paid so that you know like, okay, looks like, this piece of content or like carousels do better organically, videos do better paid, like stuff like that, or not too much?
I haven't gone into the comparing and the contrasting just yet. I'll report on on our metric, on my metrics specifically. But paid does well.
Yeah.
Paid does well.
Yeah.
You can't
put money into anything, it's going to do well.
You can't deny that it doesn't do well.
Money gets you everywhere. Money gives you everywhere. What's a recent win you've had on social that made you proud?
Oh, another great question.
Yeah. The Saskatchewan thing made me proud, to be honest.
As
a Canadian, that just sounds amazing.
Yeah, that one was huge. That one was huge. What other wins have we had on social? I think anytime we do an event and we get to capture it, I think is cool too. We've done some really good giveaways in the past.
That's awesome.
As well, I think. But maybe one of the most recent things that we've done, and maybe I just more enjoyed it because I was doing it, we did a run club event with New Balance on Robson.
Awesome.
We did it at the end of June.
That's amazing.
And we started at the store. New Balance came in and we fitted everyone in test shoes. And then we ran a 5K.
Oh my gosh.
And then we had like donuts and coffee after. And we had one of New Balance's athletes. She did like a takeover of Run Canada's Instagram account. And she did stories throughout the day just capturing it. And I thought that was a fun way of collaborating with the community and giving back to the community and also being able to share our platform with other people and giving other people a little bit like some reign as well. You know what I mean? So I thought that was really cool.
I love that. I love how your wins are community. Like that is so awesome.
And
that just shows that you're a good social media manager because it's like, you're like, I want to get people involved. I want people to feel like what JD Sports feels like. Like as soon as I walk into JD Sports, I instantly feel like I'm like so cool because the music is dope. Like the vibe is dope. So it's like, you're like, I want people to feel this. And that's when it's a win for you. As soon as you can feel what I'm trying to show you and sell you, it's a win.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that's more, it could be just like personally, that's more on what I get like intrinsically motivated by is seeing that type of an impact or seeing the type of positive response that we get from our communities. But yeah, everything else.
That's
I also
amazing.
like when things just look nice too.
Yes. Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
100%.
Like if I'm scrolling through the feed and I'm like, and I see the creative assets that our creative team makes, for example, and I'm like, wow,
That's
I'm just working with some really talented people, and it's fun being able to share their art as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know
no,
what
I
I
love
mean?
that. Even like sometimes like with my team, like I'll be like, oh my gosh, you guys did this like amazing product design thing. Like we need to showcase this. But it's not something they think about because in their eyes, they're like, I just got to make this and it's got to look cool. And we got to put this, like for me, it's on the website or something like that, right? But I'm like, we have to like showcase how you did this. Like this is so cool. So I love that. You want to showcase other people. Okay, this is a fun question. Describe your job to your grandma.
Oh, that is such a funny question because my grandparents definitely do not understand what I do. Well, I don't think they do at least. Because they're just not like, they're not from here.
Social media is very like new. It's very, you know.
My grandparents don't even have internet.
Oh, exactly. So this is going to be
like,
even
they
tougher
don't
for
like
you.
they're not those iPad grandparents. They don't have the internet. They don't use their cell phone. Like that's just how they are. So if I had to explain what I do, I always say I'm in advertising.
Okay, I love that.
Say I'm in advertising because they understand what that is. And then I'll show them like on my phone. I'm like, this is a social media platform. And so all of the little posts that you see and all the advertisement that we do on here, I help take care of, and I schedule and I plan it out and I make sure that the wording is all right. And I tell them I pick all the pictures that are here. I pick all the videos that are happening. I approve everything and then I push it out so that people can see what we're up to, I think. And then whether they clock that or not, I don't know.
That's up to them.
I'd say that's how I would say it.
I mean, I like the ad part because it's like that's just like people, you know, back in that time, they understand ads.
Yeah.
Like there was still commercials and stuff like that on TV. Yeah. So it's like that's a good way to explain it. Like this, if you click this button, click this button.
Yeah. I'm like, you see, I'm like, I pick all the pictures, I pick all the videos, I write everything out, and then I share it with everybody.
Yeah, share it to the world to see what this brand's about.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an ultimate, like, why did this post go viral? Or why did this post do so well? Like, do you have one of those where you're like, what the heck? Like, you wake up in the morning and you're like, why?
You know what? There's one right now. There's one photo carousel on anything that involves like the stores, I would say, or like in-store staff will always do well, especially if it's like a fun little game or something like that. Those are kind of guaranteed. We have a few that are popping off that I'm not surprised, so I won't answer it with that. But I have this one pair of shoes on our TikTok right now, and I posted a photo carousel of them. I think it has been like a year now. I think it's been like a long time, and it did whatever, and then all of a sudden, like months and months and months later, it just started blowing up.
Weird.
And people are still engaging with it, and people are liking it and reposting it and adding it to their favorites. And it's just a pair of it's nice photography, don't get me wrong, but it's a pair of Nikes. It's not anything crazy or anything that I thought. I put it on the account because I was like, oh, this is a nice aesthetic shoe that we want to push. These photos are really nice. Let's just put it on there and see what happens. It was doing okay, and then now it literally blew up.
That's so interesting because I've never really thought about how like things can resurface.
Well,
and
that's
like
what
have
I don't
another
get
chance.
either. That's why I don't get either, because it's like months and months ago, and I'm kind of wondering how did this come back up on your For You page?
You gotta
like, how did
think,
the algorithm pick it back up?
Which is
that's
and kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like in a scary world. We live in a scary world where like you can go back so far into like you're posting new content, but that stuff's not leveling up like that other one is. It's interesting because then first thing that comes to my head is like maybe an influencer wore those pair of shoes.
You never
and you
know
something like that where they like tag these are the pair of shoes and then people are now searching that shoe and then it's going back to that old video. But like it's just crazy. You never know. Don't give up. Don't give up on your
don't
content.
Give up. You never
it keeps going.
Know.
Yeah,
you
it keeps blowing
know.
up.
It's so and that's where maybe it would be interesting to learn kind of the ins and outs of the algorithm a little bit more, or just educate myself a little bit on it to see if I can leverage that information. But a lot of times I'm like, we're just going to see what happens.
Well, 100%.
Right?
And I'd like to speak to the person that's the pro with the algorithm because I think it's really just out in space.
Do you think that there's a viral button?
I think on TikTok that someone has?
Yeah.
Give it to me. Please.
I think, okay, because I've heard, I've seen on TikTok.
Rumors say.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But that there's like, obviously there's people that have to review all the content before it goes up and stuff like that. I heard that there's like a viral, people can pick what goes viral and what doesn't. I don't know if it's true or not. Do not quote me on it. But I'm just so curious
Conspiracy
as to
theory
whether
that's
a thing.
Oh my gosh, that
I'm
would
just
be
curious.
I'd love to know that because how much can I pay you to make something of mine go viral? Please. Oh gosh, the algorithm's a scary place. You're given a week off. No posts, no trends, no inbox. What are you doing? Let's see how you recharge as a social media manager.
Oh,
I feel like I have an answer to this.
I'm outside.
Yes. Okay.
I'm out and about. Yeah. I am
in the Bahamas.
I'm on vacation with my friends, or I'm getting like my workouts in. And then I love a good happy hour, a good patio.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Just out and about as much as I can.
Yes.
I love being on foot too, especially down here.
Walking.
Just being able to, just having a day where, you know, I don't have my car on me and I'm just walking around and I'm just hanging out with my favorite people and we're hopping from one spot to another and just having a spontaneous day, I think is the absolute best.
And it just shows, like, even what you're saying, community is really so big for you.
Oh, it's
community
huge.
is how you see wins in your career. Community is what you love to do outside of your career. Like, you're a passionate person, which is amazing. And it's good that you're in a creative space to do that.
I think that quality time is also very much my love language. So I notice that I just get recharged when I'm around my favorite people.
100%.
And it's not a bad thing.
No, that's the best part. And it's also like a happy hour with some girlfriends on a good patio in Vancouver. Like, what? You know, good Aperol spritz in my hand.
100%.
Yeah. This one's fun. And we can, you know, what's the weirdest DM your brand has ever received? We can bleep out names. We can, you know, whatever you want here.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
We get a lot of DMs.
Okay.
A lot of DMs. A lot of people asking just questions.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are interested in collaborating.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that. A lot of people that ask for free stuff.
Yeah. Which is so interesting because
a lot
I'm
of
like,
people that are like, send me
world?
free shoes. Like that's all the DM is, which is interesting
and
too.
you're like, hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'll just send you those pair.
I mean, you know what? They're trying. You know what? They're shooting their shot. You never know. Maybe it works sometimes. I mean, you know what? I'll respect it as it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've gotten anything super weird though.
That's so nice because
maybe it's better.
Yeah, that is nice. We were speaking to Vessi and they said that they get like pictures of feet all the time.
Okay, I've never seen a foot pic.
Yeah, which
thankfully.
is hilarious because I feel like people are pretty interesting on the internet. So
feet pics for Vessi?
Yeah, insane.
Why?
Yeah, because to see what like size their feet could be or if they have a certain type of foot, what would this fit in that shoe?
Crazy.
Which is, you know what, like honestly, I'd probably do that. Like if I was about to buy a purchase on some shoes, like I'm like, hey, do you think my feet would fit into this size or this size? But yeah, no.
No, everything's pretty tame.
Yeah.
Everything's pretty tame, I would say. Yeah. At least I haven't come across. No, I can't say I've come across anything super bad.
That's good. You know why? Because you are good with your community. So you put your community first, and that's why the community respects
you know
her.
What? I'll take the compliment. I'm flattered. I don't know if that's the case or if people just like don't bother asking us those things. But a lot of, I think if it's the one thing that's kind of like, I don't know why you're asking this, it's just the people asking for free stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which again, you're shooting your shot. I mean,
and we got to do it, I guess, in this day and age. But also, you know, keep shooting. Don't stop. You never know what happens.
You never know.
Anyways,
you never know.
We're done. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys all learned something about Anastassia's day-to-day and what she does every day. And, you know, she showed you that it's not that easy being a social media manager. And there's much more to just posting content. We got to think about everyday stuff. So if you're in Vancouver, make sure you pay attention and check out if they have any more events coming up or walk into the Robson store. I promise you'll feel so cool as soon as you walk in there. There's a store in Victoria. There's some stores in Saskatchewan. I think it's all over Canada.
You can just, even if you go on our website, we have a store locator.
Okay.
So anywhere that you're interested in going, or you can just shop online as well. Our e-com is just as good as our retail.
Yeah.
So.
And you see a TikTok she posts and it's kind of funny. It came from today.
Yes, it did.
Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.